Welcome to This Not So Retired Life. Each week, we will share stories of individuals from your communities who are fundamentally shifting the traditional retired life to a not so tired one. They're your friends, family, neighbors, and colleagues. They're not just reimagining the next few decades of their lives, they're taking them on with renewed strength and purpose, and they're finding the funds to do so sustainably. Intrigued? Listen on. Be sure to share your comments, stories, and ideas for future interviews on our Facebook page, This Not So Retired Life. This is your Detroit host, Rachel Rosenbaum, here today with Patricia Knight, a neighbor who inspires me with her confidence and resolve every day.
My name is Patricia Knight. I live in West Village, Detroit. I grew up in Detroit, native Detroiter. I grew up on the east side, about 5 miles from here.
Mm-hmm. And so you were telling me just a minute ago about how you graduated from college and became a social worker. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I worked as a family's first social worker, the bachelor's degree in social work, and I preserved families, if I could, for 4 to 6 weeks. And I worked as a foster care worker with kids who had been removed from their homes. Mm-hmm. And I worked with the birth family, the kids directly, and the foster family.
And how did you get into that field? What inspired you to?
I chose social work in college because, I love children. I love children.
And so you're not doing that work right now. What do you spend your time doing?
Working at the park store. I work 7 days a week. Not only do I love children, I love people. I was an at-home mom, and I'm an empty nester now, so this is my time of life when I get to enjoy adult people. Children can be very trying. I like this better.
That's awesome. And so how did you make that switch?
I was an at-home mom. My ex took care of me. And when I got divorced, and my daughter left for college, then essentially I would have just been sitting around the house living on alimony. I didn't want to live like that. I wanted to be involved in the community, especially with all the changes in this community. And this is the perfect place to do it. I mean, I'm like plugged right in my community. I love walking to work. I think this is the best job I could have.
How did you even find this job?
It was on email, the West Village listserv.
Interesting. So even just being involved in your community in the first place helped you to find this role.
We signed in when we came here. Everything that I've gotten, like people who work on my house, electricians and things like that, I got off that listserv.
So how do you see yourself evolving in what you do, how you live your life over the next 10, 15 years?
Definitely, I will get a master's degree from Wayne State, a master's degree in social work. My thing would be clinical social work and be a counselor. I'd like to rent some space at the Parkstone and counsel and build private insurance.
Awesome. So what would you say is your first step in getting there?
Organizing my finances now. That's my thing.
Yep.
I want some savings in the bank. I want about 3 to 6 months savings in the bank before I go back to school. I'd like to solicit some scholarships and grants so I don't have to pay for it.
How are you going to go about doing that?
Get online. You can Google anything.
If you were to give any piece of advice to people who are in a similar role to you, who are shifting careers or just wanting something different, what would you say?
Sit down and think. Write down what your interests are. I don't think it's good to change without significant thought. I thought before I came here to work, I knew I didn't want to work in the restaurant industry. That's just not my thing. I knew I didn't want to work at a daycare center, even though I love children. I didn't want to make some kind of mistake and end up quitting a job. So I think thought is the foundation for all those changes. And writing down what you like, what you want, what you don't, the pros and cons of it, and then acting.
Thanks, Pat.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you all for listening. Again, please share your thoughts with us on our Facebook page, This Not So Retired Life. Your feedback is essential as we grow and develop this podcast.